Most people think wealth starts with money, but it begins far earlier than money appears. It begins the moment someone finds a small internal switch that turns discipline into lasting power. Rockefeller's early life proves this switch is available to anyone beginning with nothing at all. His rise did not rely on luck, brilliance, or rare opportunities offered by powerful people. His ascent grew from simple habits that quietly compound into enormous freedom over patient years. And in this story, you will explore 5 of those early habits shaped while he was unknown. Each habit can guide your financial life from confusion into clarity and steady control. This matters today because modern life throws endless noise at anyone seeking progress or direction. People fall into chaos long before noticing that disorder ruins their financial decisions. Yet those who adopt Rockefeller's structure rise above the noise with calm certainty and purpose. Rockefeller is worth studying because he built the largest oil empire in recorded history. He became the first billionaire the world had ever seen during a tumultuous economic age. And he achieved this using rules he formed long before any financial success arrived. The first principle says you must build order before building wealth, because chaos destroys potential. Without structure, opportunities slip through your hands, even if you work extremely hard each day. Rockefeller understood this as a teenager with only a small ledger and a few borrowed coins. He wrote every cent carefully, including the 10-cent donations he gave before earning money. He built order early because he believed organization multiplies strength during future financial seasons. He spent long nights in cramped boarding rooms writing figures with precise, serious attention and focus. That quiet ritual created the mental structure that later carried millions without trembling or confusion. This principle applies today because stability begins with clarity rather than random effort or emotional choices. Anyone starting from zero can use this rule by tracking spending and listing priorities deliberately and consistently. Order protects beginners from falling into panic when money feels tight or unstable. Order builds confidence when opportunity finally arrives and requires consistent judgment and responsibility. Structure also trains your mind to resist distractions that weaken discipline throughout your financial journey. This principle is easy to apply and takes about 2 weeks to master with steady intention. The second principle says you must know your worth and negotiate with calm strength and confidence. No employer or partner will raise your value until you display certainty about your contribution. Rockefeller learned this truth at 18 when he approached his employer and requested a raise. He asked for $800, but the employer offered a lower figure without explanation. Rockefeller refused the lower amount and repeated his desired figure with steady calm. His employer eventually accepted the request because clarity gains respect faster than insecurity. Rockefeller understood that confidence must rely on evidence rather than hope or fear. This lesson applies today because measurable results command higher compensation in every industry. People who negotiate from data appear fearless, capable, and decisive, even when they feel nervous. Those who negotiate from fear weaken their influence and limit their financial growth unnecessarily. Confidence backed by measurable contribution becomes a powerful tool for career progress. This principle is moderate to apply and takes about 1 month to master with practice. You learn to speak steadily, present facts clearly, and avoid emotional negotiations that weaken your position. You learn to evaluate your value with honesty and courage, rather than doubt and hesitation. The third principle says cash flow keeps your financial life alive during crises and calm seasons alike. Income means little when money never returns after leaving your hands or accounts. Rockefeller learned this while serving as his firm's unofficial collector during his early business years. He tracked overdue accounts with sharp accuracy that annoyed older merchants with comfortable habits. Yet his discipline protected the firm when the Panic of 1857 threatened the entire region. Businesses collapsed under unpaid debts and uncollected bills, while Rockefeller's firm remained stable. He visited delinquent payers in person and corrected errors others ignored for convenience. He refused to let obligations drift into uncertainty that might crush the young enterprise. That discipline shaped his lifelong belief that only collected money counts as real money. The same principle applies today because cash flow determines whether you survive difficult months. Promises fail, expectations disappoint, and projections collapse when pressure increases unexpectedly. But cash flow keeps your financial life stable when everything else grows unpredictable. Anyone can use this principle by tightening accounts and collecting payments quickly and consistently. You can shorten gaps between work and compensation by setting clear, firm payment expectations. You can reduce stress by eliminating overdue obligations that drain mental and emotional strength. This principle is hard to apply and takes about 6 months to master with commitment. The fourth principle says wealth multiplies when you scale what already works instead of chasing distractions. Growth comes from disciplined expansion rather than jumping toward untested opportunities without structure. Rockefeller discovered this when he began buying produce in full carloads during early operations. Larger purchases lowered railroad rates and significantly increased profit margins for his young partnership. Older merchants warned him that this approach was reckless for someone so young. But Rockefeller trusted mathematics and efficiency rather than loud voices with outdated business methods. His decision formed early seeds of vertical integration that later defined Standard Oil. Scaling one strong system produced more stability than chasing many weak or untested systems. Today you apply this principle by expanding parts of your life that already work. You increase investments, automate saving, or grow profitable ventures with consistent, steady focus. You stop scattering your attention across ideas that drain time without returning profit or progress. Scaling strengthens your foundation and prepares you for opportunities requiring larger capacity and responsibility. This principle is moderately hard to apply and takes about 3 months to master effectively. The fifth principle says your reputation becomes powerful collateral in moments when money grows tight. Trust becomes capital when credit feels impossible to access through traditional channels. Rockefeller demonstrated this when he needed a $2,000 loan to save his growing business. Every bank refused him, except one that recognized his discipline and reliability. Truman P. Handy studied Rockefeller's behavior and trusted his character without hesitation. Handy granted the loan instantly without collateral or detailed explanation, based only on trust. That trust kept the business alive and expanded potential during a dangerous financial moment. Rockefeller learned that the world eventually supports disciplined people even when systems reject them. Today, your reputation works in the same quiet, powerful way during uncertain seasons. Reliability opens doors. Money can never open because trust feels safer than collateral. People support those who deliver consistent results without excuses or emotional chaos. This principle is easy to apply, but takes about 1 year to master. It grows slowly, but once strong, reputation attracts opportunity with minimal effort or pressure. It becomes a compounding force that supports your long-term financial progress. Rockefeller's mindset tied all these principles into a single clear perspective about wealth. Wealth is not emotional or accidental. Wealth is procedural and intentional. People who build systems control outcomes. Others often blame on luck or privilege. Rockefeller never chased prestige or applause during his rise toward influence and power. He pursued precision, calm consistency, and steady improvement without craving recognition. His results grew from ordinary habits practiced with extraordinary discipline across many years. That mindset remains the dividing line between people who drift and those who rise steadily. The right habits create a foundation stronger than talent, connections, or ideal circumstances. Wealth follows structure, patience, and discipline rather than desire or loud ambition. Rockefeller proved this truth long before building his legendary business empire. To apply these ideas today, imagine starting with nothing and feeling lost or overwhelmed. You begin with a ledger, a job, and simple structure guiding your financial decisions. You track every dollar until your finances become measurable and predictable instead of confusing. You examine your value and negotiate with evidence rather than fear or hope. Your cash flow strengthens as you remove delays and tighten collection systems. You identify one strong system that works well and scale it with focused discipline. Over time, trust accumulates around your name as consistency becomes your defining strength. Opportunities appear without force because people recognize your reliability faster than your talent. You rise through steady actions, not dramatic leaps that collapse under pressure. Each principle sharpens your judgment and reinforces your confidence during stressful seasons. Each principle strengthens your foundation for long-term financial transformation. Rockefeller proved these principles through steady progress rather than dramatic breakthroughs. He rose from modest clerk to leader of a vast, powerful enterprise through discipline. He used order to endure scarcity when resources felt small or insufficient for growth. He used negotiation to escape average pay and reach higher earnings early. He used collections to survive crisis when unpredictable markets threatened young businesses. He used scaling to outrun competitors older and louder than him during early years. He used reputation to unlock opportunities others could never reach or even imagine. None of this relied on luck. Everything relied on structure and disciplined action. His empire mattered less than the predictable mechanics he used to build it. Now imagine using these principles during the next decade of your life. You build stability one system at a time with patient, consistent intention and effort. You expand your strengths with calm focus instead of chasing distractions without strategy. Your reputation compounds into opportunities, partnerships, and openings you once believed impossible. You move from reaction to control and from confusion to clarity with disciplined steps. That is the long-term power behind Rockefeller's method, because its magic comes from repetition. These principles turn discipline into destiny and small beginnings into lasting financial freedom. And as you continue this journey, stay close and learn the next Rockefeller principle soon. It will push you deeper into the mindset that transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes.